Dr. Elankumaran K, Head of Liver Diseases and Transplantation Center but Senior Consultant Liver Transplant and HPH Surgeon ke Apollo Hospitals ulapin syai Hadien ke jing Bujli Dohnud lani ke liver transplantation kan Shim Tang Bnai yau brio unlong ubakot Khiah. Haba pentip sikipat ba ka jalla ling ba kilat pathai kubor haka khandre tere ujembang araja arpusan u Dr. Elankumaran ulaong baka Apollo Hospitals kadan ya kalat ban wanra karukom sumar Bujli yaki Dohnud ki balas new daki bathamai haka man ubrio haka dor ka babit ula kranru halor ki dakishen ki bala ban itu ya u ni ka brio ki badanjing sitom hau Dohnud bat halor ka hepatitis C ka jingpang ka bakta yau Dohnud.
As you are all aware, liver diseases are increasing all over the world. And in the same context, when I look back into the statistics of health at Meghalaya, definitely liver problems are on the rise and one of the major issues, especially alcohol-related liver disorders, because the average liquor consumption is 32.4% of the entire population, which is much higher than the average elsewhere. And as we all know, continuous high amount of alcohol intake directly damages the liver, and the sad thing is that it presents only at a very late stage. The next major health issue I would like to highlight today is about hepatitis C. We all know about COVID virus, how it affects the lung. We have taken vaccination, we take all the precautions, and we have overcome COVID. But for several decades now, the World Health Organization has been taking very strict measures to eradicate hepatitis from the world. It is possible because there are curative medicines for hepatitis C. Only that it has to be detected at an early stage before the virus will actually damage the liver. And if they are diagnosed at the right stage and the people reach the liver specialist, they can be cured of hepatitis C. And finally, the rising and silent pandemic, I would say, is the pandemic of fatty liver. I think we are all aware that every other person getting an ultrasound of the abdomen is showing fatty liver. And till now, even medical practitioners were not very clear about the nature of this disease, the treatment of this disease, and even the treatment options that we had were very limited. And even today, the diagnostic modalities for fatty liver is not available all over the country. So, I would like to say fatty liver has to be focused because from my own experience, the liver failure due to fatty liver has increased from 5% to 20% in my practice. And if we let it increase, even children are coming with fatty liver. In next 10 or 15 years, we may see many more patients with liver failure due to fatty liver alone. And today, we have excellent diagnostic modalities. Simple tests like a liver function test and ultrasound abdomen are the initial tests that are required. And then further, we need a fibroscan. And with this assessment, we will be able to advise appropriately. The next major advancement, I would say, is about the medication for fatty liver. Till now, the role of diet and exercise has been emphasized very well because they are the first step in the management of fatty liver. A balanced diet, low calorie, high protein diet, and 45 minutes of good aerobic exercise is what is required to maintain a healthy liver and lead a healthy life. But then, in some people, if you are not able to cure fatty liver with these measures, we now have curative medicines. US FDA approved medicines like resmetirom is not available in India yet, but other hormonal therapy medicines like tirzepatide, semaglutide, these are all the latest medications for fatty liver which as liver specialists we have found very successful outcomes. And finally, I would like to say about liver transplantation because I still believe that the awareness about the success of liver transplantation is not present everywhere. Today, it is a very successful treatment for liver failure and liver cancer with almost 95% success rates. Even the recent advancements like the safe living donor liver transplant surgery, where it is a completely safe operation for the liver donor, and even using the robotic techniques in the donor surgery to reduce complications in the liver donor, doing liver transplantation across blood groups, which was one of the major obstacles in liver donation. And finally, some of the children who develop metabolic disorders, genetic disorders, developmental disorders, they also need to undergo liver transplantation, and it can be done successfully for children even as small as less than 3 months of age. So today, the liver transplant services are not yet available in Meghalaya, but I am sure we are working towards it, and till this time where the complete 360-degree care of liver services are available in Meghalaya, we are always available. The specialists from Apollo Chennai, the liver team, will be visiting Apollo Trinity Medical Center regularly, and also available for telemedicine and consultations throughout the year, so that people get their liver diseases diagnosed properly and proceed for the appropriate treatment. So this is also a very frequent doubt people have. They tend to think that after transplant they should never go out, or they think it needs a very prolonged period, or they should not do normal jobs because after transplant they are not allowed to meet people, things like that. But I would say this is a myth. We advise our patients for the first 2 months to have strict restriction in meeting people from outside, from eating food that is prepared from outside. After 2 months, they pretty much, students join the education institution, people go to work, they can get married, have children normally. So 2 months is not the strict restriction that happens. And for the first 1 year, we will advise regular investigations every month to check the status and health of the liver. After that, it is reduced gradually to maybe once in 6 months or once in a year. And there, if I do not mention that he is a recipient, you may not even be able to identify that he is undergone transplant. That much amount of normal life. Or I would say, when they gradually develop liver disease, they tend to become black, pigmentation is dark, or they become very yellow because of the weakness, their general health decreases. But after transplant, they in fact regain their youth. They become fairer, they become stronger, and they become fully energetic. Yeah, so in liver failure, we can classify them as early, intermediate, and advanced. Because liver damage. So if it is, like I said, liver is surplus in the body. If only 30% of the liver volume is left behind and 70% is removed, still the person would be completely normal. So till the time the liver becomes damaged to around more than 70%, they have no symptoms. So this stage I would call as an early stage. Before they develop any symptoms of liver damage, it is called early stage of liver cirrhosis. And once they start having symptoms, it is an intermediate stage, and finally they start developing complications like liver failure patient can have a kidney failure, he can have problems of the heart, lungs and everything. So this stage of complications is called advanced or late stage of liver failure. In this, only the early stage of liver disease damage can be managed with medicines. Both the intermediate and even advanced stage of liver damage can be completely cured with liver transplantation.
Hadien, pej bahagi kishap, kashap plus F.
Ka plus F?
Hakabam bangibam dunaki eki bataya kamet. Namar kata habathiru atau kau kamlu ka umpnyang kadut pej ya kashap plus F hakajingsom. Yaki nutrient kumki vitamin bat ka iron la icon diat bada ka bathau bha kam khta ika dur jingki marbam ka jing mat lani ka rukom shed yaki balehi banai kita kadon ka we ka jing mentoy ba kongsan ka kot ka Khiah ka nutrition ba khambha ka jing im ba khambha pendon kam daki marbam madon ka sharp plus F menta kasni
Lawan Ra Shafi Lingba ko office jong Commissionerate of Food Safety Meghalaya.